Hi there, it's me again. We're going to make some deviled eggs today, and I'm going to start that process by showing you all of the ingredients that I'm going to put in these eggs. And of course, there are many different recipes for deviled eggs. I find that this one is more better for me, and I'll show you how to do that, how I do that as well, and then you can make it yourself. And so this is how I do it. And then so I'll start out with all the stuff we need to make these deviled eggs. And I'm gonna just show you a little trick that I learned 100 years ago, give or take a few. This piece of paper towel that I've got here, I see lots of people using cutting boards, which I'll be using if nothing else except for one of the props I need to put stuff on. And if you want your cutting board to not slide around on your counter, because most counters are smooth and all that sort of stuff and certainly hard, just use a dampened, wet paper towel. You put that cutting board down and it won't go anywhere, okay? And if I, to prove that, move this, of course, and this board will slide all over the place, okay? And so there's a little trick I learned a long time ago, but for those of you who use towels and all that, cloth towels and stuff, just whip yourself a paper towel, put it down, and you can, that board will literally stay in place for you. It won't slide around, especially when you're trying to slice stuff. I'll have to apologize right off the bat. I don't usually start off statements by apologizing, but I cooked these eggs a little bit longer than I wanted them to cook, and you know what happens to boiled eggs when you do that. You get a darker color, and I don't know why they go from yellow to that dark color, but it's what happened here, so that's my apology to you. But I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Do these eggs in spite of that, okay? So here we go. I'm gonna just separate them. I've got my little handy dandy deviled egg dish here. And we're just gonna start lining my eggs up as I cut them. And what I'm doing here is I'm dropping them into a strainer. And I think most of you know what's gonna happen with the strainer concept deal here. And again, I'm just gonna cut these eggs in half lengthwise and drop in the yolks in there. And then we're going to keep proceeding to do that until we finish all of these eggs. And it'll fill this dish, and I think there's 24 here maybe. As many times as I've done it, you think I'd know, but anyway. So we're going to do that as I separate them. And as you can see, I left a little in here, but that's okay. You don't have to worry about that. Cleaning them out all the way. It usually just comes out on its own when you do that. So we'll just keep doing that. And even the little bits and pieces that get stuck on my hand, as you can see, I'll put that in there as well. I don't like it when I overcook the eggs, and that's what I did with these. And so again, I apologize, but my wife is not going to have an issue with them because she will eat them, so will I. And we won't see anything dark in there to wonder what it is. So that's between you guys and me that I overcooked them. Please don't tell her. I'm going to do that, continue to do that rather. And again, like I said, there are many different ways to make deviled eggs. I know most all of them, but I'm just going to do this one. I think it's pretty simple. And they're also very tasty, very, very tasty. And again, and again until they're done. If you notice too, or maybe not, I think you can see it, the contours shape of this little deviled egg dish is in the shape of an egg, and so there's a front part and a back part as the thing is, as it contours. And so that's what I'm actually doing as well, just laying the egg in there just as the molded shape of the plate is. And I'm done with that, okay? So we're gonna take, what's gonna happen here now is I'm going to take excess eggs. They will be eaten. I'm going to take now, as I indicated, my strainer. I've got all my yolks in here. And I'm going to take my spoon here. And what I'm going to do with this spoon is to literally force these yolks down between the strainer. Many different ways to do that. You can actually do it with a fork. You don't have to have a configuration like this. And I'll show you what happened. I'll just start pressing it. And what I'm doing is I'm literally pressing the eggs through for the consistency that I want for this particular batch of eggs in here. And I'll just keep doing that until all the eggs are forced through. And I'll let you see what happens, what's happening here as it goes down through. It gives it a nice smooth consistency. There's no lumps, won't be any lumps or bumps. Not that that's a bad thing. But that's what I typically do. I just kind of force it down between it like that. And as I advise, don't ever try to do this with the bottom of a glass. I try to use less glass as I possibly can whenever I'm cooking, so as to lessen any possibility of glass breakage. Because once that happens, you have ruined the entire batch, and you might as well start all over again. So anyway, that's what happens when you do that deal. And for the most part, I'm done with that. Nothing's left in there. And here's the finished product. Okay. So we'll come back over here, and we've got pickle, sweet relish, we've got salt, we've got black pepper, we've got garlic salt, mayonnaise, and we've got some mustard. I don't have the ingredient count right now. At a later point in time, I will give you the ingredient count, but we're going to kind of sort of do this to your taste, to my taste, if you will. And I'll first do a little mayonnaise, and I've got a big spoon here, tablespoon, I guess. And I'll just go a heaping tablespoon at first, maybe 2 of them, because I know I'm going to need more than one. And then I'm going to take a little mustard. You don't want them tasting like mustard. I'm just going to take a little mustard, and I'm going to put that in here as well. That's all I'm going to use for now. In case I need some more, I will use that. I will get some more. I will take a little sweet relish, and I'll caution you about the sweet relish process, because you don't want to put all of that liquid that you're going to get from your sweet relish. And I'm just going to peel it back, and I think you know what I'm talking about. All of this is the liquid. You don't want all of that in your eggs, because number one, it'll get too thin. And I'm actually squeezing some of that liquid out as I'm doing this. And I'll just put a spoon in there, heaping spoon in there for one. And I've done this many times, so I know I'll need more than one. But again, I'm squeezing most of that liquid pickle juice out of it. This is sweet relish, not dill relish now. And I think I put another one in there, so let's call that maybe 3 of these tablespoons. Okay, that's kind of, and it's pretty dry. Okay, so and that's that. Come here, a little black pepper, not too much. And again, it's going to be to taste. And again, I've done it so many times I don't measure it. I should, I guess. This is a little garlic powder, salt, I should say. A little garlic salt. And I'll sprinkle, I almost sprinkled the whole jar in there. I'll sprinkle just a little bit in there. That's all I need. And I'll come along with my salt. And I'll do the same thing so I can get it open. Not too much, just to taste. Okay? That sweet relish is going to give you a little pickly taste, and so that's all we need. So now I'm going to start stirring this. I'll start stirring this, and here's what it looks like thus far. I got my mayonnaise, a little bit of mustard on top of it, a little sweet relish that I squeezed most of the juice out of, and then you got your egg yolks, obviously. So I'm just going to start blending this together to a consistency that I want. Not too thick, not too thin. Getting a pretty good consistency here. You really have to be careful with the salt if you're going to start putting salt and pepper and all that stuff in it, which I just did. But if you put too much in there, there's no way you can correct it. No way. And that's getting a pretty good consistency there. Pretty good consistency. That's kind of what you want, because you don't want the eggs to lay flat again once you put them in your tube, pastry tube. And I'll be tasting this as well. But that's the consistency that you want. Okay? And that's what you want. Now I'll taste this. I'll taste that, and I just did. I'm going to put a little more salt in it. Not too much. Not too much. And I'm going to put a little bit more sweet relish in it. Again, this is by taste. A little bit more, about another half tablespoonful. You don't want it too pickly either. Half of that. That should be sufficient. And again, here we go. There you go. I'm done with that. Okay? So I've got all my egg halves here, if you can see them. And now I'll take my mixture and I'll put it in my little pastry bag here. I think I got everything in here. I'm not used to videotaping, but that's what's got to be done, and I have to get used to doing this. I like what I'm doing, and I like sharing it with you. So I'm going to start putting this in the bag. Most of us have used pastry bags before, and this is what I use. You can make a pastry bag, I guess, out of wax paper if you want, and all that sort of stuff, or parchment paper, and okay. So you take all of that mixture, you want it all, and you complete your bag. And I think that's done. That is done. Okay. And you're going to get all of that down to the bottom of your tube, which is what I'm doing here now. And I'm going to start filling each one of these egg halves with this mixture. And I hope you can see this. I'll hold it up for you when I get done here. Almost done. Almost done. Almost done. I don't know why I keep saying almost done, because I've said it about 4 times already. And that's the last one, so I still got a little mixture in there. And I'll just go kind of top them off a little bit. And again, I've done it so much that I knew about how much to put in each one, making sure I didn't run out before I got to the last egg. And so that's pretty good. Put a good calculation on the kid, that's me, the kid, on the kid's behalf here. So I've still got a little bit more in there. Must have hatched another egg somewhere along the line as I was doing this, although I didn't see that process. But anyway, got done with them here. And unlike I usually do off camera when I'm not doing this, I won't squeeze the rest of it out in my hand and eat it and not put it in the eggs, because that would be a bad habit to form. So I'm going to be done with that part of it. I got one more here. I can squeeze a little more on the edge here. Okay. Okay, here we go. So here's the finished filled egg halves as they look. And you can see that, I think. Okay. Not quite done, although they're ready to be eaten and all that sort of stuff. And they're kind of pretty the way you squeeze them out of the tube and all that stuff. But one last thing I'll do, and some of you might think that's ridiculous, but I don't think so, because I think it's kind of cute myself. I'm going to take this little jar of pimentos, this is diced pimentos, and a little handy dandy spoon here. And I'm going to put some on this plate here. And I'll show you what I'm going to do with these diced pimentos. I'm going to spread them out a little bit, okay? And then I'm going to take my knife, which is right here, and I'm going to take my knife, and I hope you can see this. I'll show it to you if you can't. So I got these little pimento pieces here, and I'll show you. Yeah, a little square, if you will, diced pimento. And I'm gonna take that whole little piece and I'm gonna put it right in the center of these eggs. And you're talking about something pretty. See, the only problem when you do this though, they get so pretty you don't want to eat them. Just kidding. But anyway, it does dress them up. If you got a party or dinner party or something, you're preparing hors d'oeuvres or canopies and stuff like that. These are they make a nice addition, or make it very, very attractive, I should say. And you'll be able to see that in a second here as I finish with them. But I'm just taking each one of those diced pimentos, and I use my knife because I'm not trying to get any liquid, like using a spoon and stuff. But I just take each one of them and put it in there, and I'll show you how that dresses that up. And it's pretty easy, just a little bit time consuming, but I always do this. I can't tell you a time I've ever made devil eggs and I didn't put this little added touch to them. People kind of go crazy, so your guests totally, and family will do the same thing as you strive to make it more better. Okay? I'm almost done, but they sure look good. Almost too good to eat, like I said. Although I don't know why you'd make them if you weren't going to eat them, no matter what they look like. All right, I've got about 4 more to go here. And I'm still looking for another little piece of pimento. Pimento there. Here. See, next time you do this and you're showing someone how to do it, hopefully you'll do the same thing. And I've got 1 more, 2 more. One there, and one here. Where did I see it? I did see it, right here. Okay, so that's what I did with that little, not the little jar. I can use these many, many times, and I will. But that's what I did with my little pimento thing. Isn't that pretty? Isn't that pretty? My wife will consume all of these in about a half hour, give or take. She just stared at me. She's behind the camera. But anyway, that's what they'll look like, and they are very, very good. Very simple, and again, I use a little salt and pepper to taste. I use some mayonnaise in here. As you can see, I use a little bit of mustard to taste again. My garlic, salt, sweet relish, drying it out as much as you can because you don't want the eggs to taste like pickles. And you have to get most of that liquid out, and that's what I did, okay? So we're gonna be enjoying these later, but I just wanted to show you how I make deviled eggs. And again, there's many different variations of making deviled eggs, but I think these are more better. Okay, so I hope you enjoy as you prepare them for yourself and your family as well. Again, thank you so much for watching. And please don't forget to subscribe if you like this and share with others. You can also find me on Facebook. Thank you so much again. Bye-bye.